And joining us now with reaction to President Trump and the GOP's big tax victory is counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway. Good evening, Kellyanne. I'll bet it was an exciting day at the White House.
It has been indeed. There's a buoyancy and a vibrancy. You saw it there on full display. You saw the president really calling out by name the leaders in the House and Senate, the chairman of the different committees, and really the rank and file Republicans. Unfortunately, there were no Democrats there because none of them took an opportunity to give tax cuts and relief to our job creators, to middle-class families. And they're going to have to go home this Christmas and all next year and explain why they insisted this was a tax cut for the rich when just today you had major companies say they're going to give bonuses and other charitable contributions to their employees. Are those employees receiving, those hardworking men and women, the rich? So I think the Democrats missed a huge opportunity here. It was President Trump's leadership that really put this over the top.
Kellyanne, let me ask you something. You know, when I heard that AT&T was going to give bonuses, something like $1,000
to 200,000 employees.
It's
unbelievable.
How do the Democrats spin that this is a bad thing? And how long is it going to take for people to recognize that this tax cut, tax reform is indeed what the president and his supporters have said it is?
Indeed, I think they'll see it right away. And somebody at the podium today was making a very good point that there are a couple of dates for Americans to look at, Janine. One is January 1st. Starting next year, literally, we'll have a different kind of tax code that we all live under. In February, many Americans will start to see the increases in their pay. Their paychecks will get fatter under this paycheck president. And in April, of course, April 15th, a day many Americans dread, they will recognize that many of them will simplify the way they file their taxes. They'll take back so much of those wasted hours and wasted money. Then they'll start to see many of these businesses repatriate the trillions of dollars that is parked legally offshore. We're going from the offshoring model to the American model, and it will make our job creators more competitive. I think today was a real turning point in terms of showing that the Congress and the presidency can work together, president can work together to deliver for the American people. This was not a campaign promise. This is a moral imperative for people who deserve to keep more of their money.
And you know, what is sometimes overlooked in this whole thing is that the repeal of the individual mandate, the requirement that people who don't buy insurance are going to be fined by all of those additional hirees at the IRS, and I assume that they won't be there much longer, you know, is something that is it's a good thing?
So today was really three bills in one, and it was quite historic on every level. The tax cuts themselves are historic, as the president noted. But having the repeal of the Obamacare mandate also means that another signature piece of the Trump agenda that helped propel him to victory over Hillary Clinton has all but been fulfilled. That the Democrats who took the chance on the Obamacare mandate, insisting that that individual mandate would attract the young and healthy to the exchanges, it did not do that. The young and healthy were too smart. They wouldn't do it. And the whole thing collapses. You know, 30 million Americans, Janine, don't have health care as we speak. The insurers all fled the exchanges. It became prohibitive for them. And the third thing in this 3-for-1 was Anwar. This has taken 40 years for a president and a Congress to pass what others, including President Reagan and Presidents Bush's, tried to do, which is start drilling responsibly so that we are more energy dependent on America. We create those jobs. We tap those resources. I mean, some of the estimates are truly incredible. But all of this put together, America is going to see almost immediately what a difference there is in the economy. And let's face it, Janine, the tax cuts is the centerpiece of what's been regulatory rollback, energy independence, and really great booming stock market for the entire year he's been president.
Well, and you know what's interesting is they say that, you know, the booming stock market is, you know, it's not even reflecting the confidence that we're going to be seeing once it happens. But I want to ask you about this deal on DACA and the continuing resolution, the possibility of the government shutdown Friday, I believe it is. Now, do the Democrats, none of whom voted for this tax cut, do they have any leverage as it relates to the continuing resolution and forcing some of the issues that they'd like to have passed?
they have a great deal of explaining to do, I believe, as to why none of them could admit that individuals and employers in their states and their congressional districts would benefit from this. It's very clear they would. So they'll have to explain that in due course. On the continuing resolution, we feel confident and we are very hopeful that the Democrats will not allow petty partisan politics to get in the way of keeping our government open and funding obligations to the military and elsewise. Now, on immigration, people should review the president's entire 70-point immigration plan, Judge Janine, because in it you will see everything from DACA to ending chain migration to ending this visa lottery program to having thousands more ICE agents on the border so that we can get more security. We have a 50% decrease in illegal crossings since he was elected. We want the poison out of our country. 90% of heroin, the president has said, comes through the southern border. We have fentanyl coming in. And so all of this adds up to a president who's put forth a 70-point immigration plan, including a merit-based system, and everybody should read it and not just focus on any one component.
But we don't have to worry that DACA is something that they can leverage before the continuing resolution and that the CR will pass, correct?
I would hope so, because the president has made very clear that he wants that wall funded, and that is not negotiable. And anybody who wants to bring to the table their chief concerns will also have to hear his.
Do we know
he really has the upper hand here.
Kellyanne, I don't mean to rush you, but do we know when the president is going to sign this bill?
Sign the continuing resolution?
No, the tax reform.
Oh, well, there are processes that need to and protocols that need to be followed, as I understand it. And so you can expect him to do that in due course over the next couple of weeks, I suppose it could happen, I'm told. But today, people can rest assured that that is a formality. The passage is real, and you saw corporate America respond to it today by passing it on. Unlike all the predictions, Janine, all the breathless predictions where corporate America would never allow this tax cut to redound to the benefit of the little guy, of the worker. They were going to stick it in their own pockets. The minute it passed, before the president even went out to the South Lawn, they had already announced these bonuses. They predicted a year ago global recession, stock market crashes, a disaster everywhere. The opposite has happened. The consumer confidence is historic. The unemployment rate is low, the lowest ever among Hispanics, lower for African Americans and women and teens in a while. And so all of this knitted together shows a president and his leadership that has been able to realize a piece of legislation that many members who stood behind him tomorrow had voted on many years, only to have it die on a president's desk. And some of those had voted for the Reagan tax cuts, and they think this is even more bold. Well,
Kellyanne, we very much appreciate it. Congratulations. You can continue celebrating tonight.
Congratulations to America. Thank you.